Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. The person you want to become is already watching every choice you make. They're not a stranger in the future. They're the result of your decisions right now. That version of you, the one who made it, who broke through, who didn't quit, is silently witnessing your every move. Every time you hit snooze, skip the workout, scroll mindlessly, or put off your dreams, your future self takes the hit. This isn't about guilt. It's about ownership. In this video, we're going deep into your identity, habits, and purpose. This isn't just motivation. It's a reset. If you're tired of wasting time and ready to evolve, stay locked in for all 6 hours. This is for the part of you that knows you're meant for more. That's exactly why this hour starts with a concept that most ignore: legacy thinking. Your future self isn't some blurry image in the distance. They're a mirror of the choices you're making today. And here's the truth. If you keep living for comfort, convenience, and distractions, you will rob your future self of everything they could have been. This hour teaches you how to adopt a long-term vision that fuels discipline. Think beyond this week, this paycheck, or this season. Build each day as if your future self is watching, because they are. We'll study the lives of real people, athletes, creators, CEOs who lived with intentionality. Not luck, not talent, but focus. They made legacy-level decisions while others were busy scrolling, quitting, or wasting time. We'll also dive into this core question. If my future self sat next to me right now, would they be proud or disappointed? That question alone can rewrite the trajectory of your life. Because once you start thinking in decades, not days, you stop playing small. Habits that build the future you. Now that your mindset is focused on legacy, it's time to shift toward what actually builds your future self. Habits. Not hype, not hustle, not hollow motivation. Habits. Quiet, often invisible actions that stack up over time and silently shape your destiny. This hour focuses on helping you understand the connection between identity and daily behavior. Master habit loops that create automatic progress. Shift from emotion-based action to identity-based action. You'll discover that your future self doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to be consistent. Every day you show up for your goals, even imperfectly, is another vote for the person you're becoming. You'll also learn to build a discipline-first morning system designed to prime your mindset, activate momentum early, and silence distractions before they hijack your energy. Because at the end of the day, one truth will remain. Your future self is not shaped by what you occasionally do, but by what you refuse to skip, even when you don't feel like it. When you master your habits, you don't just change your days. You change your identity. Kill the version of you that's holding you back. You've got the vision. You've started the habits. But here's the hard truth. You can't build the future while dragging the past. This hour is not about motivation. It's about liberation. There is a version of you right now, yes, the one listening to this, that is sabotaging your potential. It's the version of you that justifies bad habits with time, uses fear as an excuse for inaction, hides behind a fake version of realism and calls it wisdom, settles for distraction because it's easier than discipline. In this hour, we're going to confront and kill that version of you. We'll dig deep into how to identify your inner saboteur, the part of you that whispers, "You'll fail anyway, so why try?" The hidden comfort in staying average, and why your brain chooses safety over growth. Why the people around you may unconsciously keep you stuck in the identity you're trying to escape. Left, double quotation mark. You must silence the voice that says, "Maybe next time." You must outgrow environments, conversations, and even some relationships that anchor you to your lowest standards. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel lonely at times. But growth always begins with a funeral for your excuses, your fear of being seen. You don't get to carry your future identity and your past behaviors into the same life. One has to go. You'll leave this hour with tools to rewrite limiting beliefs, disrupt the patterns that pull you backward, speak to yourself like someone responsible for your own evolution. Because your future self doesn't want the you who's just getting by. They want the warrior, the builder, the leader of your own destiny. And that version can't rise until you kill the one holding you back. Become unrecognizable to who you were. If you've come this far, you've already started the process. You've begun destroying the old version of you. But now comes the real shift. Not tweaking, not improving, reinventing. This hour is about becoming a version of yourself that even you won't recognize 1 year from now. Think about it. What if someone saw you 12 months from today and said, "You're not even the same person anymore"? What happened to you? That's what becoming unrecognizable is all about. In this hour, we'll walk you through why identity is a decision, not just a discovery. How to build a new internal narrative. Not "I'm trying to be better," but "this is just who I am now." The difference between change and transformation. Change is slow. Transformation is powerful, radical, and complete. How to stop identifying with your history and start living from your destiny. You'll learn how to audit your current environment and eliminate things that don't serve your future. Create our internal relationships and guidelines. Establish new standards where laziness feels weird and excellence feels normal. Reprogram your self-talk to match the person you are becoming. And you'll hear this over and over. You can't become a new person while defending the old version of your life. That means no more "I've always been like this." No more "this is just who I am." No more clinging to mediocrity in the name of comfort. This is where you walk differently, speak differently, think differently, move with purpose, live with urgency. You learn the future frame technique. Visualize your upgraded self waking up, moving through the day, making decisions, speaking with confidence, and then start behaving like them now. Because here's the ultimate truth. You don't wait to feel ready to become them. You act like them until the world has no choice but to believe it too. By the end of this hour, you'll realize the past is not your identity. It's your reference point. Your identity is the future. Build a system that outlives motivation. Let's get brutally honest for a second. Motivation is unreliable. It fades. It fluctuates. It disappears when life gets messy or stressful. If your success depends on feeling inspired, your future self is in trouble. This hour is about building what high performers live by. Not hype, but systems. Because successful people don't rise to the level of motivation. They fall to the level of their systems. And if you want to be unshakable, consistent, and relentless, you need a life structure that works even when you don't feel like working. This hour teaches you how to design a productivity system that aligns with your energy, not just your time. Create rituals that lock in your identity every single morning. Remove friction between intention and execution. Build automation and habits that do the heavy lifting so you don't have to decide every day to do what matters. We'll cover focus loops, how to enter a high-dash performance zone on command, distraction audits, kill 80% of what's stealing your momentum, output routines, repeatable, reliable ways to get things done even when tired. You'll also discover why most people fail at consistency. They confuse feeling ready with being committed. But commitment isn't emotional. It's structural. It's embedded in how your day is built, how your priorities are protected, and how your mind is trained. This hour challenges you to stop relying on the occasional pump-up and start living with daily operational discipline. Because your future self doesn't need your emotions. They need your systems. When your life is structured around your standards, not your schedule, you stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop having to find the time because you've already built it in. You stop waiting for perfect conditions because your system keeps running, no matter what. By the end of this hour, you'll realize this. Discipline isn't about working harder. It's about building smarter and executing relentlessly. Your future self is counting on you. What will you do now? This final hour of the original plan isn't just a conclusion. It's a challenge. You've been through the mindset. You've rebuilt your habits. You've killed the old self, reinvented who you are, and built systems to sustain it. Now comes the most important part of all. What are you going to do with everything you've learned? Because your future self isn't just watching you. They're counting on you. They're hoping you don't quit again. They're praying you won't waste another year of potential just because life got hard, boring, or uncertain. This hour hits on 3 hard but liberating truths. No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no handout, no perfect moment. You are the solution. You're either building a future you'll thank yourself for or one you'll regret. There is no neutral. You don't need more time. You need more clarity and courage. Because clarity builds direction. Courage builds momentum. If your future self could send you a message right now, it wouldn't say, "I hope you succeed." It would scream, "Please don't waste this chance. I need you to move." You have one shot at this version of your life. You can scroll through it, complain through it, coast through it, or you can wake up, lock in, and go get what you were made for. We'll walk through a 7-day future self-activation plan. Daily steps to begin living in full alignment starting today. How to make the first hour of your day sacred and productive. How to install guardrails that protect your energy from laziness, negative people, and noise. How to build urgency without anxiety, moving with calm intensity every day. And here's the final call to action. Own your time, or you'll be owned by everything else. Let's cut through the noise. You don't have a motivation problem. You have a time ownership problem. And in this hour, we're going to fix it. Because in a world of endless distractions, short-form noise, and dopamine traps, if you don't learn how to own your time, someone or something will own it for you. This hour is about claiming back what's rightfully yours. Your minutes, your energy, your attention, your future. We'll break down the energy versus time principle. Why managing your energy zones is 10x more powerful than managing time blocks. How to turn your calendar into a commitment weapon, not a graveyard of good intentions. Why successful people guard their mornings like CEOs guard million-dollar meetings. How to break free from the destination matrix. Social media loops, constant notifications, toxic urgency, digital clutter. You'll get systems for deep work blocks, sustained periods of focused execution, strategic breaks, recovery without guilt or digital junk. Evening resets, routines that lock in recovery and prep tomorrow's wins tonight. And here's the wake-up call. Left, double quotation mark. You're just distracted. That's what your future self wants you to hear. Because the time you don't have is buried under endless scrolling, unfiltered noise, unimportant obligations, and conversations that drain your soul. By the end of this hour, you'll learn how to say no with power, not guilt. Create space for strategic thinking and soul-deep rest. And most of all, use every hour like it matters, because it does. You get one life. Every wasted hour is a piece of the future you'll never get back. Your future self is watching the clock. It's ticking. And now, so are you. Pressure is a privilege. Learn to thrive under it. You've come far, farther than most ever will. But now it's time to face one of the most misunderstood truths about growth. Pressure is not your enemy. It's your training ground. Most people run from pressure. They numb it with comfort. They avoid it by playing small. They hide behind procrastination and excuses. But high performers, they see pressure for what it really is: a privilege, a forge, a mirror, a filter. Because pressure reveals who's serious versus who's pretending, who's committed versus who's curious, who's built for legacy versus who's built for comfort. In this hour, we unpack how to turn pressure into power, not pain. You'll learn the difference between toxic stress and strategic stress, and how to weaponize the second. How to mentally reframe anxiety as energy and use it to increase focus, not panic. Breathing and anchoring techniques used by athletes, Navy SEALs, and high-level entrepreneurs to perform under fire. How to train emotional control when everything around you is chaotic, uncertain, or heavy. And you'll hear this over and over: the version of you who can handle pressure lives on the other side of resistance. We'll walk through the heat curve, understanding when to press forward and when to reset. How to adopt anti-fragile thinking, where adversity doesn't just bounce off you, it builds you. How to create micro-pressure environments to sharpen your edge daily, even when life is calm. Because the truth is, the dream job will bring pressure. The next level income will bring pressure. The purpose-driven life you crave will bring more expectations, more visibility, and more challenge. But here's the gift. Your ability to thrive under pressure will separate you from 99% of people. Most will crack, you'll rise. Most will complain, you'll execute. Make peace with the past, or will poison your future. Here's the hard truth we often avoid. You can't build a powerful future if you're still shackled to a broken past. In this hour, we go deeper than motivation. We go into healing. Because all the ambition in the world won't help you if your mind is still repeating old wounds like background noise. That betrayal that made you afraid to trust again. That failure that convinced you you're not good enough. That mistake you still punish yourself for every day. Your future self isn't just watching your discipline. They're watching how you process pain. They're watching whether you'll carry it forward or finally let it go. This hour is about emotional clearance. You'll learn how to release what's no longer yours to carry. Stop allowing your history to sabotage your destiny. Forgive others, not because they deserve it, but because you do. We'll walk through the 4 steps of emotional closure. Feel it, face it, frame it, free it. How to break identity ties to old versions of yourself that no longer serve your vision. Why unprocessed pain turns into self-sabotage, and how to break that cycle for good. And here's the shift. You don't move forward by running from your past. You move forward by making peace with it. Techniques to process and reframe failure so you gain wisdom, not shame. This is the hour where the chains fall, where the wounds become wisdom, where you stop being the victim of what happened and start being the author of what's next. How to reclaim power from people who once held it over you. Why emotional discipline is the foundation of long-term mental strength. Because the most dangerous thing you can do is chase a new future while being haunted by an old identity. Here's what your future self is whispering right now. Left double quotation mark. Who are you gonna be from this moment forward? Not what you want, not what you plan, not what you say, but what you decide to embody every single day. Because your future self isn't waiting on more motivation. They're waiting on a decision. This hour is about identity, character, and alignment. It's about becoming so ruthlessly committed to who you're becoming that you leave zero room for the old version of yourself to return. We dive deep into the power of identity scripting, Write the story you're going to live, not the one life handed you. How to burn the backup plan and lead with bold commitment. The difference between being interested in success and being obsessed with your mission. How to live with integrity when no one's watching, when it's not easy, and when quitting feels tempting. You'll build a blueprint too. Walk like the person you want to be. Talk like them. Think, work, focus, lead, and rise like them. Because here's the truth. Left double quotation mark. Left double quotation mark, just not that kind of person. Left double quotation mark, just not that kind of person. You are the one your future self brags about because you moved when it was hard, not when it was easy. In this final hour, you'll write a future self manifesto. One page that outlines your new standards, decisions, and vision. Set a 30, 60, 90-day momentum strategy for unstoppable action. Craft your legacy filter. Every decision now passes through one question. Will this make my future self proud? Because this is no longer about potential. It's about ownership. And it's about leadership of your life. So here's the last thing I want you to hear in this 10-hour journey. Your future self is watching you right now. But someday, that future self becomes your present self. And when that day comes, they'll either thank you for showing up or they'll wonder why you didn't. Make the decision, live the life. Become the one. The next chapter starts now. Don't look back. This isn't just a video. This is a decision point. Right now, your future self is watching you. Watching to see if you'll scroll away, make another excuse, or finally step up. Don't let this moment pass. Make a commitment. Drop a comment below and say, I'm doing this for my future self. Then mean it. Save this video. Replay it when you feel weak. Use it when you wake up, when you train, when you want to quit. Subscribe if you're ready for more content that keeps you sharp, focused, and unstoppable. Share this with someone you want to rise with, because your future isn't waiting, it's watching. And who you choose to become today is everything.